Alright, hey everyone, Noah Walker here with my Legacy video series Accumulated Knowledge for Team Cardhoarder. Today we're going to be playing against one of my friends, Kevin King, playing Lance, and we are on Grixis Delver still. So here we are in our first match. We get to play, so yes, I would like to play first. Alright, so this opening hand is not bad. It's got most of the stuff that you'd want, a turn 1 threat, a wasteland, some cantrips. It's a pretty easy keep, so I'm just gonna keep this. Ooh, okay, so it doesn't really matter which fetch we start off with, so I'm just gonna fetch. I'm gonna save the Jaxian Probe because our turn 1 play doesn't really, is not really gonna change depending on what's in their hand. So I'm just going to start off with Volcanic Island, because we have more Volks than Seas, so it's really important to fetch for Volks first. And play Delver and ship it. Oh, take off this upkeep stop, because you don't need that. Alright, Mox Diamond. Huh. If I had a counterspell, I'd probably snap off something like a Daze on that Mox Diamond, just because we're not going to get much better use out of it later in the game, but Mox Diamond is fine. Discarding Dark Depths. Ooh. So yeah, Lance is a pretty tough matchup. Most of their cards just line up super well. Okay, yeah, he's starting off with an aggressive Wasteland. Because there's no basic lands in the deck, so Wastelands are just always very good. Yeah, this is not looking so great. Gambled. Probably got a Loam, or maybe he got a Punishing Fire if he already has a Grove. Something like that. Which also, just a bunch of cards that are really good against me. This matchup, one of the matchups I want to play against the least. But Death Charm is actually a really good draw here, so I think I'm just going to snap off the Probe. Take a look at what he's working with. Oh, okay. This hand's not very beatable. It's like all the cards that are horrible for us. So it's Fire, Loam, Grove, Maze. Okay. Ooh. Messed up there. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright. It's not like we're just dead or anything. I'm actually going to fire off the Ponder here, I think. We have to find, a counter spell so that we can counter the Punishing Fire while we have Deathrite Shaman in play, and then we can remove it. And we have a Wasteland to get rid of the Grove too. So we're not in horrible shape, but yeah, so shuffle those cards are really bad. But we're definitely not in great shape. All the cards in his hand are really good against us, so bash in for 1. Alright, plays that Grove. Probably just gonna Loam all of these back. Yep, that's fine. So he played Loam and Grove, so we know his hand is Maze, Punishing Fire, the 3 lands he just got back, which are Wasteland and 2 Depths, and 1 card we don't know about. Alright, Delver, it's your time to shine. Force, perfect. So the Force is great because we can force the Punishing Fire and then remove it with Deathrite, but also we have Vendilion Click to get it out of his hand, so we're actually not in that horrible of a spot here, surprisingly, just because we have the Click and the Wasteland here, and the Force, actually. So, game ending up to be okay, from a game that, basically looking at his hand with just a Delver, it's like, oh, well, we can't really win because all those cards are insane against us, but seems to be going all right. I'm really just hoping he doesn't draw like another fire or... Oh, perfect. Another fire. But I guess we can Wasteland the Grove. Start getting him to slow down a little bit. We're just going to have to get in a lot of damage as quickly as possible. Alright, so he plays Waste. So Waste is one of the cards we didn't know about. So right now we know he has Maze, Fire, Loam that he got back, and what? Oh, actually, no, sorry, we did know about Waste. And then two, so we have to force will that. And two, what card does he have? Dark Depths. I'm just going to pitch the Brainstorm because Click is actually kind of important here. For one, it can get rid of the Loam. But I think I might just get super aggressive, waste the Grove here, play Click, removing the Grove, and just get rid of the Punishing Fire. I guess it all depends what's in his hand. Yeah, that's definitely the play that I'm going to make here. So, Wasteland, kill your Grove. Exile the Grove for blue. Click. Alright, so his hand is... Okay. Another Grove, which is pretty much the worst for us, because that means he can just rebuy the Punishing Fire, and then keep killing stuff. So I think I'm going to have to take the Loam here. Originally, I was just going to take the Punishing Fire, basically no matter what, just because it slows him down so much. But he has another Grove, so definitely have to take the Loam here instead. I think it's not even actually really close. We can never really beat Loam. Punishing Fire is pretty hard to beat too, to be honest, but next turn, I'll probably end up playing the Fire on Deathrite, playing Grove, maybe getting something back. Maybe he'll kill the Insectile Aberration because it's a pretty good clock. Just gonna keep clocking in though for now, as long as we can, you know. Again, this matchup is not really great. You know his whole hand. Except for two cards now, I guess, so. Man, I hate lands. I mean, I love lands. It's a really cool deck and really fun to play. But I just hate playing against lands with Delver. It's like they're pre-boarded against me or something. Like they play a freaking Tabernacle at the Pendravale. Like, who plays that card? Who plays that card? What? Yeah, we're behind so many cards here, where this death rate might not be enough to get us back, because he can just keep rebuying Punishing Fires, because he has two of them, which kind of sucks. Like last turn, we could have done something like Wasteland your land, eat your fire with Deathrite Shaman, but then he can just cast the Loam, get back the lands, and then we're not really doing anything. So I think playing the Click was a little better, but still, it just feels like we're so far behind. Do. Come on. Kevin. Trying to attack. What's he tanking for? He's like, oh, this matchup's so good, I might as well take some extra time. Guys, mazes 1, goes to 10, we play Deathrite, pass. Still pretty far behind. He's just gonna play Fire, or sorry, play Grove, make us gain 1, get back Fire, probably kill the Deathrite, Or just kill one of the threats, because he has 2 fires, so he's not really worried about the death rate right now. Just gonna play it again. So yeah, plays the Grove, gets back the fire. Ooh, we get a life point though? That's pretty risky. He didn't even get back both fires. Then he couldn't cast one. That could have been good for us. Oh, okay, yeah. So he did decide to kill the death rate, which I guess makes sense, because it's basically like clocking him without us having to do anything. Okay. That land is a pretty rough draw for us. Basically, we needed to draw spells for like every turn for the rest of the game to win this game. But that's fine. Yeah, the reason that I think this matchup is so poor is because none of the counter spells line up particularly well. Like having to Force of Will a card that he can get back, like with Dredge or with Grove, like spending 2 cards on that, or playing a card like Daze when he has so many, lands to use. It's like, it's just horrible. And when counter spells are bad in a matchup, then normally the matchup isn't like that insane for you. Like the Mirror and stuff, when counter spells are bad, the matchup is like, it's like close, it's the Mirror, whatever. But this matchup, like counter spells are really bad. If you can hit like a Gamble or Crop Rotation, then it's really good. But most of their cards are pretty hard to counter, and Daze especially is really dead. Oh, so he drew a Thespian Stage, has also a Dark Depths in hand. So what do we have to have happen here? We could probe, draw like a Brainstorm, hit like Bolt and another blue card and another Bolt, and then we'd have lethal. If we just attack for 6, he Mazavith's one of our things, and then tries to cast Punishing Fire, we could Force of Will at pitching the probe. But I don't think that's a game that we're ever winning. We put him at 4, he next turn plays one of the Dark Depths that we know about in his hand, passes with Mazavith, able to make a 20/20 and a Wasteland. So I think the only line here that could actually make us win, knowing his hand, is like cast probe, he doesn't fire in response. We draw something. We draw something that we could, use. Oh no. Use to pitch with the Force. Yeah, so he cast the fire in response, which does kind of suck. But I don't think there's too much, we can do about that. And waste. Huh. I guess I'll float up blue. I think that's a weird time to use Wasteland, especially on the black source. Alright, yeah, so it's 2 Dark Depths, Loam, some ports. Alright, Ponder's okay here. Ooh, there's a Deathrite Shaman. A Delver. And that Brainstorm we were looking for. So, actually, he can't make a 20/20 and buy back Punishing Fire. So he could, like, play Deathrite Shaman. No, that just will not win us the game. Sorry. I don't know. This is tough. Basically, he just has make a 20/20 in his hand. He just plays a land, taps, Mox Diamond, Grove, that's being staged, makes a 20/20. So, like, we can... All these cards are really good, but just not right now. We could, like, draw Deathrite, play it, chump block with Insectile Aberration, and eat, like, a Punishing Fire, but that doesn't do anything. Oh, so I actually drew another Loam. So the cards, after we put Loam on bottom, he drew Loam, stage. Huh. Yeah, I think that I just have to shuffle here. Alright, Daze is not going to help us very much. Because I could play the C and pass. So yeah, I still think like the only line that actually gives us just a shot at winning that game is the probe into like Hail Mary Brainstorm to like blue card Bolt. And actually, I don't even think that would even win because we forced the fire, leaving us with nothing in hand. Oh, wait, no. Because we could put back the C. Actually, we had the C in the hand. So we could put back the C and one of the bolts. Use a bolt, use a force, and a card. Anyways, that's just not really a realistic, scenario. Brainstorming into those cards. But this one is realistic, so I'm just going to do this. Oh, he used the maze. How unlucky. I have a feeling we're getting 2020'd sometime soon. Like now. Oh, he's making it. Savage. Man, he's not playing around like something not in my deck. See, that's the thing about lands players. Sometimes they just play around like any blue or like black or red card that could possibly answer Merit Lodge, and they just like wait, and I just like play a wasteland, am able to pick apart the combo, and I don't just die. But when I'm playing against a good lands player, they just jam the 2020, and I have no answers to it, and I just die. So that always sucks, especially when they know my list. Then it's like, okay, I'm pretty much dead to you just making a 2020. I don't really know why I'm still continuing on with this game because we're clearly dead. He can like buy back Punishing Fire, cast it on Insect Calibration. We daze it. We can actually daze this one because he doesn't have enough lands for us not to be able to daze it. But then we jump block and we're just dead. So I should just concede. But I'm gonna get that extra draw step in next turn. You know that. Daze. Ooh, a juicy daze over here. So maybe we... No, we don't. Ooh, maybe we do bounce a land so that we can shuffle it back in case we draw Brainstorm. It really doesn't matter. Brainstorm won't even do anything off the top. We're dazing it. Get dazed about it. Alright, yes, I would like to block instead of dying. Thank you. Man, I really want to keep that death right. It just wouldn't have done anything. Oh! 2 cards entered the effects area. Wow. 2 and from. It's a pretty nice card here. Alright, we drew a spell pierce, we're dead. GG. Alright, let's move on to the sideboard. We don't have like all that many cards for this matchup in the board, but we have a good bit though. Surgical Extraction's great. Pithing Needle's great. EE is actually pretty good too. It hits Exploration, it hits Mox Diamond, it hits basically just those, but that's enough. It hits Pithing Needle, but that's not really good. And I don't even know if that deck plays Pithing Needle. Probably doesn't. Hits Sylvan Library, which someone's play from the board and stuff. EE is just pretty good. Pithing Needle is really good against them. It hits Thespian Stage, so they can make 2020s, which is like obviously the big one that it has to do. Surgicals, just remove the Punishing Fires and the Loams. What else? Ooh, Vortex is really good in this matchup. I like to bring in Ancient Grudge sometimes, because a lot of times they rely on artifact mana through Mox Diamond, so I like bringing in Ancient Grudge. Most of these cards are pretty bad, so I don't think we want any of them. I would like an effect like Painful Truths, but it's not really reliable to cast against a deck that's trying to wasteland you. So we cut definitely the Dismember. I don't think Cabal Therapy is particularly great in this matchup either, so I could see shaving them. And then Daze is also pretty poor, so I'm just going to cut a bunch of Dazes. Force isn't great. Force isn't great either, but I think that it's better than Daze in this matchup. Maybe on the play, like, I could have an extra Daze over Force, something like that. But I don't even know if this is correct, but I feel like a lot of the time, Daze will hit something. So having more copies in on the play is better. You know, we get to keep cards for Force of Wills. Sometimes I like boarding out Grimag Angler in this matchup, but it's really good against Punishing Fire. So if they don't have Mazavith, it can actually kill pretty fast. But we don't really, generally fill up our graveyard as much in this matchup as quickly all the time. So So it's not insane, but it's really good against just the, ooh, I only have Punishing Fire draws. So I think this is fine, and we're going to try this out for game 2. Alright, yes, I would like to play first. And yes, I would like to mulligan. That hand was just a bunch of lands, not really very close to keeping. Alright, this hand is okay. If the Tropical Island was an Underground Sea, then it'd be like a snap keep in this matchup. I don't really think that it's something that can mulligan, just because it has turn 1 Deathrite Shaman any which way, and it has a cantrip too. So this hand is just pretty fine. I think I have to keep. Ooh, Sulfuric Vortex. So Vortex is like one of the cards in my sideboard just for this matchup. And though this hand isn't great at casting it, I kind of want to get greedy and just keep it on top and try to like get there. We have a Ponder, we have Deathrite. Yeah, I'm just hoping to get a wee bit lucky this game. By a wee bit, I mean a lot. I'm just gonna lead off with the Deathrite still though. Next turn, Ponder, maybe Wasteland something. Maybe I shouldn't have yielded till end of turn, because then he'll know that I've F6'd. But I don't really think he's going to do too much. Oh, Exploration. Tranquil Thicket. Alright, luckily his turn was not very explosive. We might even be able to resolve this Vortex. Okay. So this isn't too bad, actually. I'm going to put the Strand last, because we want to crack that after we get our stuff. Then the Daze and the Probe. And I'm not going to shuffle. Then I'm going to cast the Probe. Ooh. That hand is pretty good. Having the Wasteland for the Grove here is super important, because then we can remove it. And actually, he just can't cast any spells after we do that. So his hand is Fire, Loam, Gamble, Depths. Alright, just close it out. Okay. Wasteland, K Grove, go. Have the Daze for whenever he draws another land for... Ooh, he doesn't have a land. That's pretty lucky. So it's really tempting to go and get a black source with the Deathrite Shaman, so that after he resolves I can't even think right now. After he resolves the Loam, we can eat it with the Deathrite. But I think that resolving Sulfuric Vortex on this early in the game could easily just shut out the game. Especially with like a Bolt in our hand, and it's just going to be very good. Him stumbling on lands, us having a Bolt, Vortex. Sounds good. What's he have to say? Classic, woof. Yeah. Yeah, certainly going a little rough for Kevin this game. Oh no, he drew the Taiga. So, yeah, just gonna happily Daze this one. Daze coming in handy here over Force. I don't know if that Daze specifically would have been Force or whatever, but it is putting in some work. And then we know that he doesn't have a land still, so we can just Wasteland this Taiga again. Or I don't mean again, because last time we killed something that wasn't Taiga. Ooh! C is the perfect draw, though. I'm just going to get rid of the fire while we can. I think that's much more important than using this Wasteland. The downside to this play is if he draws something like, Thespian Stage, which I imagine he's going to gamble for right now. That could have been a reason to use the Wasteland on the Taiga. But, oh wow. So he probably did gamble for the stage, then he discarded it. Has another Exploration hint. So yeah, his cards are Loam, and something else. I feel like we know what it is though, because he played the exploration. Did I write it down? No, I didn't write it down. All right, this is fine though. Vortex hits us for 2. Play a waste and pass. I almost want to just like waste the Taiga so that he can't cast Loam. But if he casts Loam, we can just remove the stage in response, then eat the Loam. Ooh, another gamble. That's fine. Wow, another stage that he discarded. 2 for 2 on gambling for stage and discarding it. That's pretty legit. Just gonna eat one. So the reason I'm eating a stage now is so that next turn him casting Loam won't really matter for a stage, because we can just remove in response or remove the Loam after it resolves. We're not really under any pressure to remove a gamble right now. So, alright. Down to 12. Ooh, that is a juicy card. However, I kind of want to just wasteland this Taiga, because we have another wasteland. So we know he has Loam and like one other card, and I just don't want him to keep drawing gambles and be able to cast them. Or like if he draws Punishing Fire, he could kill the death, right? So I'm just going to do this. Play Gurmag, the card that I was kind of talking shit about in this matchup, which is actually just a great card. And here it's not very bad either. So if we attack for 1, Vortex hits him for 2, puts him at 9, then we have attack, bolt. He's actually dead either way. So if his play for his turn is just another land, cast Loam on Thespian stage, then it doesn't really matter. So we can pretty much happily attack with death right here, because we had to use the black source for Gurmag Angler. So this is fine. Vortex putting in work here, as we see. If he doesn't have grip, then it just basically kills him. Oh, Thespian stage. How lucky. And actually not very lucky. Loam for the lands. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, we can play them both. So that could have been foolish. Cast Loam again. Okay, yeah, we just have Bolt for lethal. Actually, we have 9 here anyways. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I'll bolt him anyways for the rubbins. Take that, lightning bolt, Kevin. Boom. Take 2. Oh, get in for 6. Deathrite with the killing blow here. Damage to the face. Alright, so this matchup's not great, as we saw in game 1. But if they stumble a little, and we get something super early that's good, like Vortex especially, then we can just win. I'm pretty happy that I decided to keep the Vortex on top with this Scry. I think that some games I might just put it on bottom, be a little more conservative. But I think getting greedy with a hand in a matchup that's not very good can be really good. Especially because we mulligan to 6 and he also mulligan to 6, so our hands are generally a little bit worse, so it's harder for him to fight against the Vortex. And we had a Deathrite Shaman and lines to cast it too, so our hand was definitely a keep. But keeping the Vortex on top, I think, was pretty clutch for winning that game. So let's move on to game 3. Better get some lands. Okay, so even though the days proved to be pretty strong that game, I think it might be better on the draw to go back to 4 force and only like 1 days, because days is just pretty meh in the matchup in general. But as that game showed, we didn't really have like cards to pitch for a force. If any of our cards ever had really been a force, it would have just sat in our hand, because we didn't really have the resources for something like a force. So maybe it's not insane to do that. I don't know. Maybe on the draw, like, days is still a little better than Spell Pierce. I don't know. I'll try this out. I'll borrow the Spell Pierce and bring in the force and just keep in 2 dazes. On the play, I kind of like Spell Pierce because you can hit Mox Diamond and stuff like that. And maybe it's still better than a Daze, though. What are we really going to hit with the Daze that we can't hit with Spell Pierce? I guess that's the question. Yeah, no, Spell Pierce is probably better. I think that's probably silly to keep in the Daze. Daze is better, you know, in scenarios when we don't have the 1 mana. But Spell Pierce is probably almost definitely more powerful in this matchup, so. This seems fine. Submit. Game 3. Whew. I'm always happy when I get to game 3 against the Lands player, so that means they didn't beat me too fast. Alright, he's on play. This hand is pretty meh. Ooh, but he mulliganed. It's so tempting now that he's mulliganed. Maybe that just means that it's an easy mulligan. So, like, none of these cards really interact well with him killing us. Yeah, I think this is... And it only has 1 land, and it's not the land that we want. Like, I'd maybe keep this hand if this was, like, a blue-black land, or maybe even a Volk. Like, if it's a C, then that means that once we draw into something like Deathrite Shaman, that we can get good value out of it. This hand doesn't have any of our, like, dedicated hate cards, like the Surgicals, and it doesn't have Deathrite or anything like that, so I think I'm just going to happily mulligan it. This hand is not all that much better, but I think it's a keep. He put on top with a Scry. Ponder. I guess I'll put it on top. This matchup is just like super scary. We can just be dead pretty quickly, so. Yeah, gamble turn 1. Just hoping he doesn't lock us out too quickly. Gamble, waste, port. He only has 2 cards in hand, though, which is pretty good for us. It's like he mulliganed and cast a gamble, so he's down 2 cards. So let's take a peek in there. Loam K-Grip. I almost want to get greedy and just wasteland the port. That way he has to draw a land to cast Loam. But that's probably just super silly. Is it though? This is tough. If we wasteland the port and he doesn't draw land, then we are pretty far ahead. And the thing about this game is, if he's spending a lot of time casting Loam over and over again, if he doesn't hit like a maze pretty soon, then the Gurmag might actually kill him. So I think that my initial, talks about how sometimes I poured out Gurmag in this matchup, that's probably wrong. Gurmag is super powerful against a deck that operates mostly off of, dealing 2 damage to a guy to kill it. Gurmag can just kill him quickly. So here the dilemma is, do I want to wasteland this port, or do I want to just play Trop and play Delver? I think I'm just going to hope to get lucky and that he doesn't have a land on top, so I'm just going to waste the port. The deck is called lands, though, so I'm not going to be like, oh, how unlucky if he does draw a land that he can use. Okay, yeah, Drew Dark Depths, that's pretty lucky, though, for us. So, we got to play the, I was going to say we have to play the Trop because we don't have, the lands to do other stuff because we only had the 1 fetch. But I think that it's really important to get the Gurmag out as soon as possible this game. So I'm just going to fetch up Volcanic Island and play Delver. Next turn we can even brainstorm and then fetch if we want. Ooh, he missed his land drop again. So it turns out that using that waste was like super valuable. So his hand is Loam, Crozen Grip, and a card we don't know. Would not like to reveal Deathrite Shaman, but do I want to play Deathrite Shaman? That's a very good question. I think I'm going to lead off with Brainstorm here to shuffle away this Tropical Island. Alright, yeah, I shall play Trop and Strand. So unfortunately we can't cast Gurmag this turn, so we kind of have to just play the Deathrite. Which is not like, oh, we have to play Deathrite, how sad. Deathrite's great in this matchup, so I'm totally going to just jam in 1. And now that we have Force of Will too, we're just pretty in a commanding position this game, certainly. So got the Force, got another Wasteland. have a Germ. End of turn crop rotation. So I think we have to force a will the crop rotation, because if we don't, let's say we don't force a will the crop rotation. We know his hand. His whole hand is Loam, K-Grip. We could force the Loam, eat it with the Deathrite Shaman, and then we're super far ahead. So I think that actually just let that resolve. He'll probably get Grove. Ooh, Thespian Sage. Oh, he got Thespian Sage because he has depths in there, so. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually. So yeah, we will happily force of will this this Loam and eat it. The reason that I didn't want to force of will the crop rotation is that if he drew a land, then he would still be able to play the Loam and get some lands. This way, we can eat the Loam and he doesn't get any of lands back, so. I think that doing it this way is a good bit better. Okay, so he's a waste. That's daggers. Okay. Days, that's a pretty great one. So I'm just going to wasteland to keep him off that. Eat one of the wastes for a black and play Gurmag. I'm just going to remove all of our lands. Normally I like keeping lands, but we're just going to be able to remove all of his lands. So I want to make sure we have as many spells as possible to eat with Deathrite later once we get a black source. So the last card is K-Grip. I think that we actually can't really lose this game. He has to draw like Gamble and then hit Tabernacle, and then we can even just pay for these two guys for a couple turns. So yeah, we are smooth sailing here. Bash in for 9. Keep it Days. Maybe I want to Ponder. I guess I might as well. It's not like we have a force or anything in our hand. Ooh, Surgical Extraction's pretty decent too, actually. No, I'm not gonna shuffle. Oh, I maybe should have draw step, eaten the Gambler or something, but I don't really think we can lose this game. So there is that. Ooh, okay, so we won. First match against lands. As I said before, it can be a pretty tough matchup, but mulligan both games from him, game 2 and 3, or the games that we won, of course. And then, you know, shaky starts. It's not like his starts were like super bad or anything, but we just had some good disruption, so just got there. Yeah, well, while lands is one of the decks that I fear playing against most, especially good lands opponent. If I draw good, then I can smash them.